is my final part 3 of all the MCU and DCEU movies ranked together. We'll kick the top 15 off with Thor Ragnarok, easily the best Thor movie with a bunch of humor and energy thrown into this franchise. It has charisma and vibrance from beginning to end, and it also could bring some emotional weight to it. Hemsworth has a great performance, and it shows his comedic timing. Now, what holds this one back from my top 10 is that it sacrifices tension for a joke, but it's very watchable, very entertaining, and very good. Number 14, Man of Steel. Here, Zack Snyder decided to do a different retelling of Superman, and it absolutely works. It has all of Zack Snyder's visual flair when it comes to his films. There's some awesome action sequences with 21st century effects in a Superman movie. There's a phenomenal score from Hans Zimmer, which is still one of the best scores today. And it's very sad that Henry Cavill is going away, and we're not going to get a sequel. 13, Captain America the Winter Soldier. This is a more mature MCU film with complex plotting and storytelling. It's a very thrilling film with some thrilling action from beginning to end where it's visceral, and there's some plots about Roger's personal struggles where he's struggling with his life, his friends, his family, etc. And there's some interesting and compelling villains. With sprinkles and humor, that just adds a little bit of levity. It absolutely works for me. Number 12, Doctor Strange. Of all the movies on this list, this might be the one that has the most creative visuals and a bunch of fun scenarios for action where there's like kaleidoscope, there's a battle in Hong Kong where everything goes backwards, and it's a compelling origin story for Stephen Strange, but I kind of want to put it higher on the list, but there's a forgettable villain. But when I rewatched it, it's funnier than I initially thought, so this is a very entertaining MCU film. Number 11, Spider-Man Homecoming, an MCU film from the perspective of a high schooler. Tom Holland is perfectly cast as this immature MCU superhero teenager. Tony Stark is used in an interesting way as a mentor. There's some fun dynamics between characters and a great villain. But it also has themes of responsibility and how to balance your life. And so to me, this is just a great little film in the MCU. Kicking off the top 10, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. To me, this was a great closeout to Phase 4 as it feels like it was told by a storyteller. There's a great villain named Namor. It explores more depth with characters like Shuri, and it manages to be a very emotional, weighty, heavy film that manages to be a proper tribute to the T'Challa character as well as Chadwick Boseman. It's emotional, I think it's profound, it elevates some characters, very good, close out to Phase 4. Number 9, Spider-Man No Way Home. This is just a crowd pleaser to all the Spider-Man fans and ends up putting a big grin on your face. I love seeing all 3 Spider-Men together, fighting all of the villains that we've seen since the year 2002. It's just a very enjoyable film. I kind of want to put it higher up on the list, but there's just a lazy setup and the resolution makes no sense to me, and that's really frustrating because this is just an amazing film. Number 8 is Wonder Woman, just a great superhero story, and at its core, as a fun superhero that is human but can be funny as well. There's some awesome action, inspiring moments like when she walks through no man's land, and there's some interesting themes about how inhumane men can be. And she's perfectly paired up with Steve Trevor as like the counterbalance to her. In the end, you just get a great film. Number 7, Captain America Civil War. This movie had some great pick-a-side marketing, but because these two sides come in conflict with each other, it's from opinions and differences. There's some earned drama, and the audience debates who is right and who is wrong, which side were they on. And there's some complex storytelling as well. And so in the end, you just get one of the most compelling MCU movies that ties a bunch of things together. Number 6, Iron Man. Compared to a bunch of the MCU movies, this movie is small in scale, but that's what elevates it. Because it's just a compelling character's journey about a man who learns his purpose in life. And it's very effective at that. It doesn't have all the weight of the shoulders that the rest of the MCU has. It's not trying to outdo the last film. And so it could just tell the simple story and it's very effective. It's a great kickoff to a great franchise. Kicking off the top 5 is The Avengers, the superhero team-up movie that laid the foundation for a bunch of other superhero team-up movies. It's a simple story executed with excellence. There's some great dynamics between each of our Avenger characters. There's an awesome slam bang finale, but really, all the action sequences here are great. It's just a crowd pleaser film that was groundbreaking for the time it came out, and it's effective today just as it was when it came out. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. Kevin Feige took a risk with these obscure heroes, and it absolutely paid off. And it's very nostalgic for me because this was one of my introductions to this franchise. It was such a pleasant surprise, and James Gunn uses his gift, like I said in my previous videos, to take a group of weirdos and find the humanity in them. There's some of the best great soundtracks within the last 10 years. Very entertaining, very good, and very heartfelt. It makes it into the top 5. Number 3 is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's ultimate superhero epic to this franchise that is a proper unified version of a vision of a director. It improves upon Justice League, of course, but it takes its time with its proper setup in order to have these really satisfying moments where, like, the Flash runs and reverses times and things. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad it exists. Thoroughly enjoy it. Our runner-up is Avengers Endgame. This is the MCU's superhero epic that is massive in scale and size, and you can see how all of our Avengers respond to their loss back in Infinity War, and that brings for so much payoff in the finale. When you get to that final battle, it's so satisfying, so awesome, so good. There's some great fan service, and, like, once you get to that final battle, that closes out the Infinity Saga in such a satisfying way. It's great. But in first place, Avengers Infinity War. This movie lived up to all the hype and excitement surrounding it, and it has a huge ensemble. It's fun to see all these characters interact with each other. There's some awesome action, and a tragic, shocking, and emotional finale. There are a bunch of memorable moments and sequences, a great, compelling, and sympathetic villain in Thanos, and a lot of fun. One of the more rewatchable MCU movies. It is my favorite. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe. I have more rankings over on my channel. I will see you in the next one.